ADHD and gaming is honestly a horrible combination sometimes. Because gaming feels like the perfect escape for an ADHD brain. Fast stimulation, constant noise, constant rewards, constant movement. It gives your brain something to lock onto. And for a little while, it actually feels peaceful. That's the weird part. Most people think ADHD means you can't focus on anything, but that's not really true. At least not for me. The problem is that my brain focuses too hard on the wrong things. And gaming is one of those things. I'll sit down to play one match of something, and suddenly it's 6 hours later. I haven't eaten. I haven't answered messages. I haven't done anything I said I was gonna do that day. And somehow after all of that, I still don't even feel relaxed. I just feel mentally fried. And I think a lot of people with ADHD understand this feeling. Gaming doesn't just become a hobby. It becomes a loop. A cycle. A place you go to escape your brain while accidentally feeding the exact problems you're trying to get away from. And modern games make it so much worse. Everything is built around dopamine now. Battle passes, daily rewards, unlocks, rank systems, loot, constant progression. Everything is trying to keep your attention every second possible. And if you already have ADHD, it feels almost impossible to pull away from. Especially competitive games. Competitive gaming with ADHD honestly feels like psychological warfare sometimes. Because you're constantly chasing the next good match, the next win, the next rank, the next moment where your brain finally feels satisfied. But the satisfaction barely lasts. You win one game and instantly queue for another one. You lose one game and suddenly you're angry for an hour. And the worst part is that even when you're not enjoying it anymore, you still keep playing. That's the scary part. Not even having fun anymore, but still feeling unable to stop. I've had nights where I sit there scrolling through my Steam library for like 30 minutes straight because my brain wants stimulation so badly, but nothing actually sounds enjoyable. And I know I'm not the only person that does this. You open one game, close it, open YouTube, close it, scroll TikTok, open Discord, check another game. Then somehow an entire night disappears. ADHD makes everything feel all or nothing. Especially hobbies. I don't really casually enjoy games. I hyperfixate on them. A game becomes my entire personality for like 2 weeks. I watch videos about it. I think about it all day. I download mods for it. I reorganize my entire setup around it. And then one random day, the feeling just disappears completely. Like a switch got turned off. And suddenly, the game that consumed my life feels impossible to open. That cycle honestly gets exhausting. Because every new hyperfixation feels exciting at first. You feel alive again. Focused again. Motivated again. Then eventually the burnout hits. And you're right back to feeling empty and restless. I think that's why nighttime gaming feels so different for people like us too. At night, the world finally gets quiet. No notifications. No expectations. No pressure. And for the first time all day, your brain almost feels manageable. That's why so many ADHD people stay awake until like 3 a.m. gaming. It's not always about the game itself. Sometimes it's just the only time your brain stops feeling overwhelmed. And honestly, gaming has helped me too. I don't want to make this sound like gaming is evil or something. Games genuinely helped me through loneliness, stress, depression, bad nights. They gave me worlds to disappear into when reality felt exhausting. And I think gaming can actually be really healthy for ADHD when it's the right kind of gaming. The problem is when gaming stops being relaxing and starts becoming emotional avoidance. There's a difference between enjoying a game and using games to completely disconnect from your life. And I had to start realizing that. Because eventually I noticed something. The games that made me feel the best usually weren't the hyper-competitive dopamine factory games. It was slower games, immersive games, games where I could actually think, games that felt atmospheric, games I could get lost in instead of games designed to psychologically manipulate me into grinding nonstop. I started realizing I wasn't actually looking for stimulation all the time. I was looking for peace. And those are two completely different things. ADHD makes your brain constantly search for stimulation because silence almost feels uncomfortable. So naturally, gaming becomes the perfect escape. But eventually, you have to ask yourself something. Is this game actually making me happy right now? Or am I just scared to be alone with my thoughts? That question hit me really hard, honestly. Because there were nights where I wasn't even enjoying myself anymore. I was just trying to avoid feeling empty. And I think a lot more people relate to that than they admit. Especially now. Gaming used to feel different. It felt more immersive, more social, more memorable. Now everything feels optimized to keep your attention every possible second. And ADHD brains are the perfect target for that. That doesn't mean you have to quit gaming. I don't think gaming is bad at all. I think gaming can be one of the best forms of art and escapism ever created. But I do think people with ADHD have to be more careful with it. Because for us, gaming isn't just entertainment sometimes. It becomes emotional regulation. And when your emotional regulation depends entirely on constant stimulation, eventually your brain starts feeling exhausted all the time. I'm still trying to figure out the balance myself, honestly. Trying to learn how to enjoy games without disappearing into them. Trying to enjoy gaming because I love it, not because I'm trying to numb myself. And maybe that's the hardest part about ADHD. Not the lack of focus, but the constant search for something that finally feels mentally quiet. And for a lot of us, gaming is the closest thing we've found to that.